Now we know that the Proteas Limited Overs coach Rob Walter announced a squad of 15 players last week for the T20 World Cup out in the West Indies and the United States next month. The squad has had some omissions, which created an opportunity for a number of new faces. Now coach Rob Walter joins us via Zoom to talk about the squad and the upcoming World Cup. Hey, good morning to you, Rob. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports on Morning Live.
Morning.
Rob, let's start and speak about perhaps the conditions that are expected out in the USA as we go into the T20 World Cup. And with those conditions out there, what are your expectations in terms of the wickets and what's that looking like and how that has possibly influenced the squad that you've selected for the World Cup?
Yeah, look, the conditions in the States are going to be a little bit unknown. The field we're playing on in New York has been made specifically for the World Cup, so the pitches will be drop-in pitches. So yeah, it's hard to say exactly what the conditions will present. For that reason, you have to have a well-balanced squad. You've got to have different options around fast bowling and spin bowling. I mean, the batting obviously stays the batting, so the batters will be required to adapt to whatever's in front of them. However, from a bowling point of view, yeah, you need to be able to cover all bases. So we've picked a squad that hopefully gives us an opportunity to do that.
Speaking about the squad that you've picked that gives you an opportunity to do that, you've got two uncapped players making it into your squad. They've been part of the national setup for some time now, Othniel Botman as well as Ryan Rickleton. Perhaps this is an opportunity for them to actually get a go.
Oh, look, both of them have performed incredibly well this year in the SA20 and then into the domestic T20 competition. So it was an acknowledgement of their performances there that got their names into the squad. And yeah, absolutely, again, we don't know exactly what the balance of the squad will look like. We'll make a decision when we know what the conditions are in front of us, but certainly great to have them as part of the squad. And as I said, just reward for some seriously good performances.
And I want to go a little bit deeper in terms of the squad that you have selected, Rob, because we've seen how as a nation, when we are united as South Africa, united as a team, that generally does lift our performance at big tournaments such as a World Cup and the T21 in particular that we're speaking about now. And we've heard the talks going on after you announced your squad of some criticism coming against you, saying perhaps this squad is taking us back to the days of having one black bowler in Makai and Dini and perhaps one or two coloured and Indian spin bowlers in the team. So at this moment, I'd like for you to please just take the nation into your confidence and tell us how the squad was selected and how we find ourselves in a position where there's only one black player in the 15-player squad that is going to the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand the questions around the squad. Certainly, I'm not disillusioned by the fact that we want the team to be transformed. We want the team to be a representation of the country, but at the same time, my task is to pick a side that I believe will give us the best opportunity to try and win a World Cup, something that we've never done before. So. That's what's in front of us right now. From a system point of view and moving forward, is that we have to really up the ante in terms of how we're progressing players, the decisions we make around selection in bilateral series, that we use these as opportunities to grow our player base, to rest our key players who are now playing a hell of a lot of cricket all around the world. And so, there's absolutely a definite plan in place that we are going to drive, and that hopefully 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, and in particular 2027 with our home World Cup, that when we pick our best side, it's a real reflection of the country, and that team will do us proud as they do now.
Okay, here you, Rob. So currently this best side is what you believe will be able to get us as South Africa to perform at the World Cup, and this is your best 15 as the coach of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's, there's nothing more to it than that. It's what the mix I feel that gives us the best opportunity, and ultimately we'll only find out in a month or so's time whether that's the case or not.
All right, so Rob, you've been at a World Cup before. It may have been a different format. From your experience there, the shortcomings that this team had in the past, what would you say are some of your key learnings that you'll be able to take into this upcoming World Cup and apply them to get a better result for Team South Africa?
Well, first and foremostly is, I'd hope everyone is very proud of the way that we played at the 50 over World Cup. We set some new standards, broke some world records. We're placed in the top 3 of all teams in a number of metrics throughout the campaign. It was our most successful World Cup to date. So from that point of view, very proud of the way we played. And then, looking towards the semi-final, I've said it a number of times before, we were dead and buried at 24 for 4. We managed to scrap our way out of that, which potentially in the past we may have not done. Dave Miller scored an exceptional 100 under pressure, probably one of the best of his career. And then, they got off to a flying start and we were able to pull our way back into the game and at one stage could have had a chance of winning it. So very proud of the way we fought in the semi-finals. Of course, no one likes to lose a semi. We're all hoping for the time where we get over the line, but certainly the bravery and the courage shown by the team to get back into that semi-final and compete and have an opportunity to win it is a huge stepping stone, I believe, for this team moving forward.
You speak about the semi-final and getting into the final would be a big stepping stone for this team. Realistically, what do you believe is achievable with the current squad that you've got going into the World Cup? And perhaps also, what has your mandate been from CSA? Is it to get South Africa into the final and come back victorious in that final?
I don't think there's ever a Proteas team that takes a field or goes to a world event that isn't focused on winning, that doesn't believe it can win. This squad will be no different to that. Ultimately, the long-term mandate is to win the home World Cup in 2027. There's no secret about that. But in the meantime, we've shown the skill and quality in the 50 over World Cup to really compete with the best in the world. And, this time will be no different. We'll be pushing for exactly the same. And, hopefully we're always hoping to cross that bridge, to get over that one little hurdle in the semi-finals that we've stumbled in the past. And I've got full faith that that's going to happen.
Rob, thank you so much for your time this morning and good luck with the rest of your preparations for the World Cup.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Rob Walter there, the limited overs coach for South Africa's national cricket team, speaking all things about the upcoming T20 World Cup and of course also touching on that home World Cup in 2027. And we are hoping that by the time that comes around, we don't have this transformation issue and discussion once again.